One ship shut the canal that carries 12% of world trade. 6 days. 400 vessels waiting. $9.6 billion of cargo, standing still, every day. Not sunk. Not burning. Aground, bow in one bank, stern swung toward the other. And nothing on board had failed. The canal's own rules required 2 escort tugs for a ship of her tonnage. She entered with none. This is what the Flag States report found. March 23, 2021. The ship is the Ever Given, 400 meters of container carrier, northbound for Rotterdam. Ahead of her, the Suez Canal, its southern reach a single lane, with no room to pass. And a sandstorm is coming. 50 ships a day make this passage. On paper, an ordinary morning. Overnight, gusts to 35 knots. The master reported a southerly gusting 40, though the report's own analysis puts the average nearer 19, and the Canal Authority later said weather was not the main reason. The convoy sailed anyway. 2 tugs are the handles a 400-meter hull does not have. Above the waterline she is a wall of steel and containers, the sail the wind was pushing on. The rules required 2. She transited with none. Here is the trap. In a narrow channel a moving hull sinks deeper, that is squat, and it steals her clearance. Pressure builds between the bow and the near bank and shoves the bow away, while suction drags the hull back in, hardest at the stern. Double the speed, and those bank forces roughly quadruple. 07:16. 2 pilots board, and the sandstorm closes in, she drifts off the centerline. At slow speed the rudder has little to bite on, so the pilot does what feels right. More power. Full ahead 12 knots over the ground, where the rules allow 8.6. He had just doubled the force pushing her toward the bank. Then the helm orders. Hard to port. Hard to starboard. Hard to port again, nothing in between, and no course to steer. The master steps in and orders the wheel amidships. The hard over orders resume. Panama's investigators, reading the voyage data recorder, describe an argument between the 2 pilots in Arabic, which the master could not follow. Give him the course and reduce the speed, one says. The distance is shortened. And the answer, I increased the speed. These lines are not a released recording, they are the investigators' own translation, printed in their report. 07:38. She is near the western bank, making 13.5 knots over the ground, when the bow whips to starboard. Hard to port. Full ahead again. Nothing answers. At 07:41, at kilometre 151, the Ever Given drives her bow into the eastern bank. She does not move a meter. 400 meters of ship. 300 meters of canal. The Suez is sealed. By the 3rd day the Canal Authority counted 237 ships waiting. By the time she came free, more than 400. Lloyd's List put the traffic held up at $9.6 billion a day, a measure of cargo delayed, not money lost. Dredgers pull 30,000 cubic meters of sand from under her bow. 11 harbor tugs and 2 seagoing tugs take the strain. Reporting at the time credited that weak spring tides with lifting the water. She floated free at 3:05 on the 29th. Divers found the bow thruster room and the forepeak flooded, and the bottom plating set in over 10 meters of width. No pollution and no cargo loss were reported. Ever Given's own 25 crew came through it unhurt. The investigators found no pre-existing failure. Nothing on that ship was broken. And the answer did not come from Egypt. Panama, the flag state, filed its report with the IMO. The Canal Authority has never published one. In narrow water, slow down, speed feeds every force that fights you. And when the wind is wrong, take the tugs, or wait. The sea charges interest on every minute saved.